Hey, welcome to the Ops team. We're back again inside the secret server room. A couple of infrastructure evangelists, technical evangelists, device evangelists, DevOps evangelists here talking to you today about, 5 minutes or so of funky news and items we want to talk about in our different areas of specialty. And you know what? That's an interesting introduction. It's completely off script. I probably completely messed that up, but who cares?
Yeah, I think that's good.
We're just talking. But now, Mr. May, you're gonna have to get right in close to your microphone because you're very.
I will.
There you go. The dulcet tones of your voice.
I'll just pull it a little closer.
There you go. I want to ride the audio here so we can get this all done. So this is our weekly episode of talking to you about the news that people are talking about, specifically around DevOps
and open source
technologies.
Yep. Devices and enterprise mobility.
There you go. And over here is going to be, I guess, Azure stuff. And once again, who authorized Matt McSpirit to be off on vacation for 2 consecutive weeks?
I don't know.
I don't know how that made it past approval.
He had to talk to his manager.
I guess.
Yeah.
So once again, we have a vacancy. I got nothing to help him out this time. Nothing. So
No.
we covered Azure Stack last time as a cross between hybrid kind of stuff, but we got nothing for on premises today.
I don't really care if it's in the data center anymore.
Very
To be
nice.
entirely honest.
Very, very nice.
Watch this, Matt. Watch
Yeah.
this.
So we have a spinner. We have a spinny thingy.
We do have a spinny thing.
Okay, man.
I will
So
spin my spinny
who's
thing.
going to be the first one to go?
Me.
Oh,
yeah.
see, that's completely fixed.
Yeah.
That is absolutely completely fixed.
That is completely fixed.
Okay, I have a timer. So we're going to try to be very strict on the time guidelines today. And we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Good way to start.
Actually, yeah.
And devices is over.
Energized.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited about this one. This is a couple of things about Azure Active Directory. One of my favorite topic areas, but these two things are related to Azure Active Directory and Windows 10 devices. The first one, let's go in reverse chronological order so that we kind of explain these as they came out. The first one is that enterprise state roaming has entered public preview for Azure AD. What that means is that when you take a machine and you Azure Active Directory domain join it, we will now be able to roam your enterprise state. So your settings, basically, between different machines that are joined to Azure AD. So
This sounds like roaming profiles.
it sounds like roaming
Is
profiles.
it roaming profiles now
I think
available?
so, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but it's
renaming.
not. It's
just
not
pulling your
roaming
leg.
profiles.
I had
Enhanced
to say
roaming
that.
profile.
It's very, very cool. This is kind of something that folks have been asking us for a very long time. Back in the Windows 8.1 world, we had everybody setting themselves up with a Microsoft account on their PCs. And you folks told us that was crap. So
What? How is it crap?
I know.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is that actually loads of using consumer identities maybe is not the best thing for enterprises. So
Okay.
huge change inside of Windows 10 to take away that kind of the need to be able to do that kind of thing. Now you get the same kind of roaming with Azure AD that you got with identities inside of Windows 8.1 and that you get inside of Windows 10 with your Microsoft account, your MSA. So we can now move these things across different machines. It gives you a much more seamless user experience as the end user. It's in public preview and you can go try it out today. You just need to turn it on inside of Windows 10 and also inside of your Azure Active Directory tenant. So you need to pop into the old Azure AD, into the old Azure portal and change it to enable that for your directory.
I've got a stupid question for you.
Uh-huh.
How easy is it to sign up and start using Azure Active Directory as an individual, small company, big company, medium company? How hard is it? Scale of 1 to 10.
About a... Let's do an easy scale,
Okay.
because let's define the scale. So easier being towards the 10, it's probably about an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Depends on what you've got already in place. If you've-
Size limits at all?
Not really.
That's right, because every single person that's Office 365 is Azure AD there.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So if you've got Office 365, you've already got Azure AD set up. If you don't have Office 365, you're probably going to want to set up something like Azure AD Connect to synchronize your on-premises identities up into Azure Active Directory. Tons of information out there on the internet about doing exactly that. And speaking of which, one of the reasons you might want to think about that is because of the next topic, which is, again, Windows 10 and Azure AD domain join. We've actually made it into kind of preview now that if with by setting certain group policy settings inside of your on-premises AD, you can now have your Windows 10 devices automatically go and join Azure AD, which is kind of cool. So that
Your
means-
devices.
Yeah, your
Join
Windows
AD.
10 devices.
By using a group policy.
Yeah. So you set the group policy. The machines will then go, oh, hello, I need to go off and join Azure AD. They'll go do that. The user won't be required to authenticate because they've already authenticated to the on-prem AD.
Right.
And ADFS will just take care of that update. You do need Azure AD Connect to be in place so that we can then synchronize the device records down and all that kind of stuff. Tons of information on the Azure AD blog, and we'll have those notes in the show notes so that you can go and dig through that. But pretty awesome. It means that you've got single sign-on to everything on-prem and everything inside of Azure AD, so Office 365, all that kind of stuff. A couple of thousand SaaS applications if you need it, just by setting it up. It's not actually hard.
That is really cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Very, very cool, man. I feel like I've been so out of touch with what's going on with Azure AD just because it changes so much.
Well, it's a pretty fast and dynamically moving area, actually.
You mentioned it. One of the Azure AD guys did a blog post recently. Is that like
Yeah.
a newsworthy item, or is that
That
just
was actually related to the
Related to
Windows
this one here?
10. Yeah, his blog post is in there. Explains exactly what group policy settings you need to make inside of your environment.
now? You know, I'm making sure that you actually put this in the show notes because your notes were absent last time.
They were, yes. And I was just actually looking inside of the OneNote here to try and add them, but for some reason I can't get into the OneNote. So we probably
Your single
need to-
sign-on isn't
Yeah,
working.
my single sign-on isn't actually working to access the OneNote. We probably need to fix that just before we leave this room today.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm done. I haven't got anything else for my next. For the last, how long have I got left on the timer?
What? You have to fill air for 11 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. There we go. Okay.
I just have the default alarm sound, so it's very, very subtle.
That's quite nice.
That would not wake me up. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
It would not
that's
wake
not the
me
alarm
up
sound
at
that I
all.
have in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, let's do some
Thank
spinning.
you, man. Yeah. Another spin.
Spin it.
Okay, that hit something, but I
Yeah.
guess it's me. But
Yeah.
okay,
it
there it
keeps going
hits. There you
everywhere.
go.
Yeah.
It's going to be DevOps and open source. And you
Yes.
better not be taking my one
Yeah, I was
announcement
gonna say
article
we didn't talk about this
because that's my only thing I have.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now.
Okay, you mean the thing starting with DR?
Yes, because it
Okay.
was a blog announcement that
Okay.
Corey did.
I'm just skipping it. You owe me.
I definitely owe you because if you took that, I would have nothing to talk about.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely nothing. Sort of like last week.
Isn't your hat the wrong colour?
No, it's touche, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, let me reset the timer here, and whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Azure Container Service is now broadly available. It's in preview. It was on public preview. It was on private preview before. To just give some information, I talked
Is it
about.
GA or is it
No,
just,
it's not GA yet.
it's
It's just preview.
So it came out of private preview and into public preview.
Exactly.
Great.
So it is our container service running in Azure. The thing I like this about, it's not some proprietary technology. It's full open source technologies like Docker.
Get out of
And
town.
Mesos.
What?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not proprietary Microsoft stuff?
No, not at all.
I thought we only did. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, I'm thinking about the 90s.
So yeah, I don't know if there may be some parts in the background running using very proprietary technology, but in the part that is exposed to the customer, it's all third-party products, non-Microsoft products.
Yeah.
It's Docker, Mesosphere, and Mesosphere's Marathon. So it's great because if you're a customer want to use some containers infrastructure, you don't have to build it yourself. It's super easy to deploy. It's an Azure Resource Manager resource. So you basically say, I need a Docker Swarm cluster with 3 master nodes and 40 slave nodes. And it just deploys it and gives you the link so you can just SSH into it
Nice.
and start using it. And this endpoint is, for example, it's just a common Docker endpoint. So you don't have to know about anything about Azure at all. Just use the IP, SSH into the master node and start deploying containers. Or if you want to use Mesos and Marathon.
I'm cueing you because I think you have the wrong camera up, just to make sure.
No.
What's in program?
It's me.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
making sure.
Yeah.
I can't see that far. I see it as preview. Are you sure? Okay, you got it.
I can see it. I can definitely see both of you on camera.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's definitely working.
Oh, I know. Well, never mind. I'm taking up all your time. I'm sorry. That was not an intentional.
Took my topic, taking my time. Yeah, Azure Container Service, just go try it. You're gonna love it. And another thing I want to mention is
I'm very excited by the Azure Container Service. It says Azure, so it makes me exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Ross?
Yeah, Ross Gardler.
Yeah, he's the main guy that's driving that from a PM perspective. I'm bugging him for documentation because one of my projects I'm working on. So Ross, if you're listening to this, you owe me some docs.
Yeah, just reply Rick's emails, please.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. And another thing is, everybody knows about Walmart, right?
I think I've heard of are they a
small
retailer?
company.
They're a retailer,
Little
aren't they?
tiny, don't they sell groceries?
Yeah, groceries.
Yeah.
Vegetables.
Vegetables,
Yeah. So they have this thing called OneOps. Basically, we can call it as a cloud broker. So they have their applications. And instead of, depending on just one provider, they prefer to build their own, something like a framework. And this acts as a cloud broker between different providers. And Azure is one of the supported providers. We are working very closely with them. And they are really eager to work with us by using the open source distributions in Azure. So they're basically gonna use the Linux flavor in Azure.
Because they use OpenStack for their on-premises
OpenStack for
stuff,
on-premises, exactly. And for the cloud, they're going to be using Azure as one of their targets. And thinking of Walmart's size, it's huge.
It's just this small little company out of, where is it? Arkansas? Is it Arlington?
I don't remember.
I forget where it is.
I forget.
It's a good sign. Even the
I think everybody's
small
heard of
businesses are using, even the small businesses like Walmart uses Azure. And changing tabs.
It is. You're right. Bentonville, Arkansas.
Ooh, trivial information. Nice. So we have this operations management suite. So to cover Matt a bit, and right now you can just deploy the agent in Azure Linux virtual machines or Azure Windows virtual machines automatically. It's an Azure Resource Manager provider now.
Right.
So you just add your workspace ID and workspace password, and it just automatically enables this. So your VMs start feeding information to your OMS dashboard. Was that me?
No, it's not. No. Sorry, I left my email open.
You got an email.
So we're making things even easier. So you may be deploying a lot of virtual machines and thinking about how am I going to go and install the OMS agent in that virtual machines. You don't have to worry about that because it works just like an extension, Azure VM extension.
That is the timer. Okay. I'm trying to close down my notifications.
I'm hearing a lot of
noises. Okay, I'm going to give you a very important tip here. Go to your notifications area. Down at the bottom.
Yes.
And then you see the notifications icon.
New notifications.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right click it.
Oh, right click it?
Turn on quiet hours.
Turn on quiet hours.
Done.
But isn't that going to make the timer not work? Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, I don't know.
I guess I'll be the test that's coming up.
Test.
As you can see, we're having some technical difficulties.
Let's see if Rick ever stops talking. I was going to spin the spinner. But,
no. Trust me. I will stop talking. Because he stole a bunch of my stuff, even though we said that we weren't going to do it. But you did talk about some stuff. It's funny. It's good. So, timer for me. And I'm going to say reset. I'm going to say start. And it started. And I'm going to go. Oh, my goodness. Alluded to it the last episode that went live a little while ago. We were late getting it out, but, there's a lot of stuff going on. And there's also... It was in the States, it was a holiday on Monday, and Microsoft has actually got that holiday off as well, which is kind of nice. Yep. But just like it is with Garbage Day, you know how if there's a holiday and Garbage Day for pickup, you have to move everything one day over? So that's how the show was published, a day late. I'm sticking to that. That's why it was late, not because I was just late in editing it. But the one thing that you're talking about, and the reason why I mentioned the color of my hat, is because of Red Hat.
Yeah.
We announced a partnership with Red Hat ages ago, back in November. And people were, prior to that, people were asking us for, what can we do? We have Red Hat Enterprise running on premises. We want to run it inside of Azure and other places. And we didn't have an option for them. The best we could do was at the time, prior to having this engagement with him back in November, was that basically you'd have to use CentOS as an option for similar functionality for what you're going to be doing. But that still wasn't quite what some of the people are looking for. So anyway, we had been in negotiations with him for a very long time. November came to fruition. It's all fantastic. Well, we actually implemented, I guess it's going to be, what was it, the 17th? Yeah, the 17th of February. We made a big announcement. Corey Sanders did a blog post about it in his lovely style that he does. It's funny, I was actually in the hallway at one point in time during the discussions of having the blog post written, and he's like, yeah, I need to have enough time so I can Corey-ize it. Because it was, partially written by different people responsible for different things. And then he has to put his own flavor and wrapper around it, of course. And so he alluded to Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So it's rather funny. The hilarious part about that is if you look, one of the register in the UK picked that up. We're talking about this whole romantic engagement between Azure and between Red Hat. It's just kind of weird and funny. Maybe I'll put that link to the article. It's in there. Anyway, Red Hat Linux Enterprise instances are now available inside the Azure Marketplace. Woo! Which means that we now support 6.7 and 7.2 images are now live for Marketplace, available worldwide, except for the China region and US government region, because they're run separately from how we run Azure services. And, we're working that sort of stuff out. And so what does that actually mean? So it means that you can pick an enterprise image from the Marketplace or from any of our command line tools, Azure Power or PowerShell or Azure CLI, and you can go off and you can provision a Linux machine inside of a resource group and be able to go off and have them all off and working. That's one thing that it does. The thing that you don't necessarily see right off the bat is if you don't already own a Red Hat Linux image license for support and everything else like that, you actually get per minute billing. So that may not seem like a big deal, but in actual fact, it's a really big deal. Just because if you go to any of the other cloud providers out there that happen to be using Red Hat as an image that's available, you only get per hour increment billing. So if I want to go off and spin something up and shut things down and spin things up and shut things down, like you should be doing inside of a cloud environment, and you're running a Red Hat Enterprise workload, you're paying for full 1 hour chunks on their platforms, and you're paying for per minute chunks on our platforms for support.
Wow.
Big difference. Makes it very flexible. And that's one of the nuances that didn't really come out in that particular blog post, is the fact that we do permanent billing, which is actually really, really cool. The next thing I literally just saw yesterday was an impromptu demo that someone was doing in one of the meetings. You can actually go in through the portal, through your settings of the machine. The settings of the machine detects and knows it's a Red Hat Linux Enterprise install. And then all of a sudden on the right-hand side for under all settings, a little red hat pops up and says connect to support. And you click on the connect to support, and it actually goes through with a big SAML authentication and connects your Azure subscription to your Red Hat Linux Enterprise Support subscription.
Wow, that's cool.
On their portal. This is the first time we've done this through the different path of how things are going, and then allows you to go off into once you've been connected and authenticated and stuff like that to get subscription support benefits for those images against your claim, if you will, of your SAML claim through to the support instance. So that's actually really, really cool. I just saw that implemented yesterday. I'm like, that's so freaking neat that we can actually do that. So who knows what this brings? Is that if that's going to start bringing support options that are available to our other partners? Don't know. Still relatively new, but I just saw that implemented for the very first time yesterday. Really, really slick for what you can do with that one there. Other thing that's also very cool is I also found out that, and this is something that came out in the press interviews that the folks were doing, was the fact that we actually have co-located. Okay, I got to finish the statement.
You can finish. It's okay.
We actually have co-located support. So literally, Red Hat engineers sitting right next to Azure engineers here on campus. Whoa. From a support perspective.
We need to find them.
And I'm assuming they're also at other locations as well. But it's not like I have a problem, log a ticket. Okay, hang on a second. Let me forward that. No, it's like, hey, you want to take a look at this for me? That's neat.
That's pretty cool.
So I got to track that down because I want to go off and meet these guys.
Go find them.
It's like, the two folks, the opposites attract. They're sitting right next to each other as far as engineers are concerned. So very, very cool. Lots of Red Hat goodness that's out there. Broadly available. Very, very slick. Very, very cool. Available in all the regions except for China and government US stuff. Yeah, I managed to stretch that a full 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
I did not think I could pull
do
that
want to
off.
see you with a new hat. I think we need to
what?
get you a red version of the Tilly hat.
See,
Maybe
this,
half of it.
this is
Yeah.
actually a backup hat. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
noticed,
you're
but
on backup.
the hat that this is. I'm in my failover state right now because my other hat, that's the more recent one that I've been wearing. I took it down to Australia and it got beat up. And so Tilly and Durable's Twitter account actually said, you can exchange that, right? Because it's a free replacement for the lifetime of the hat. So Rick's Tilly hat, the original one, is actually currently in a sealed FedEx envelope heading over to New York to be exchanged. And I do believe they do some kind of transfer of memory and soul and everything else between the hats. Some
They've
kind of
got to
ceremony.
somehow get like the sweatband and just like take it out and place it. Into
I have no idea what they do, but I want to see if they take some Twitter shots of that as it happens. But that's breaking news. I haven't said that to anybody.
So how many hats do you have?
I actually have at any given time at least 3. There's my cold backup in cold storage. He's actually brown. He's not green. He's wilted a little.
It's the one for if everything goes wrong. It's the apocalyptic version.
So if you see me wearing a brown hat, get out of town.
Yeah.
Real quick. Something really bad's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we diverge. But do you have the Twitters up there?
We have had a couple of extra followers. No messages this week. Please send us messages on the Twitters. We do like to hear from you folks, and you can drop us emails as well. We are at the ops team at Microsoft.com. So drop us. Who knows? Just drop us emails to
the ops team at Microsoft.com.
Yep. Don't forget, I am not a bot is what you want to be putting into the subject line so that we actually see that, and it makes it through the very stringent mail filters that we have in place. On the Twitters,
We have mail filters in place.
well, yes,
You do.
He says so.
yeah. Well, most people, apparently so. There's
What's the Twitter handle?
we are at the ops team.
At the ops team.
Yeah. On the Twitters, and we're up to 217 followers today.
Wow.
Yeah, so that means we've had another 6 in the past week.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
We are starting to see this grow, which is kind of cool. There's the intention all along. So.
We would absolutely love if you wanted to send us email or if you want to send us Twitter.
Or actual physical mail.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Now
can
he's
receive.
opening up. Eh?
Yeah. So you could just send us a postcard. That's always a nice thing to do.
do you need the I'm not a bot? in the
Yeah, on the
physical mail as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, stick the I am not a bot, or if you can, in fact, send us photographs of robots through the mail. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah,
Getting better.
yeah,
Does anyone still print photographs?
yeah. Just send it to Channel 9 at 1 Microsoft Way, Redmond, Washington 98052.
You got it.
And we'll get hold of it.
It's gonna find us. Yeah.
The ops team at Channel 9. You got it. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you have a good week and that sort of stuff. And there's going to be lots of great news happening for everyone that's all around. You can reach myself at @RicksterCDN if you want to get hold of me.
@Oğuz Pastırmacı. OGUZPASTIRMACI.
That just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. And I'm at SciMonster. I'm going to be at Mobile World Congress next week.
Well, that's going to be cool. Are you going to be Skyping in for this? Or what?
I think I'm going to try and do a quick kind of like I'll probably record it on my phone.
I could do that.
Yeah,
Do
send
it
it
from
in.
the show floor.
Yeah, I might. Well, if it's quiet enough, I will.
And use a
actually
translator.
do that. Yeah, I'll do the whole thing in Spanish because it's in Barcelona. So yeah,
Or, you could just use the British English and do a translator to American English if you wanted to.
I'm not sure that anybody could cope with that.
Nice. Nice. And with that, I'm going to think we're going to wrap up the show. Where's the cameras at? Is it over here? Is it over there? Is it up there already? Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to get in touch with us and let us know what you want to see, what you want us to talk about. Have a good one.